Okay. Something else that Suge went into on his podcast is he kind of went into he kind of tapped at Hammer a little bit. To be honest, he talked about the storage reels, which wasn't 100% true, but he talked about some other stuff about Hammer. What were your thoughts when you heard his version of this stuff?
Well, he told the truth on that. I know what you're saying about the him being mistaken about which songs was actually in the storage, meaning the Tupac or reels and stuff. But he told that he's about 97% accurate on that. I told y'all this story before. Hopefully we can find it. If we can find it, we'll post it. If not, okay. But I told y'all what happened. Me and Suge was in his office. He was watching BET. Told y'all that. He looked at it, asked me, Reg, what you see strange about that picture? I don't know. Shit. He said, look at Hammer. Hammer don't have no jury on. Hammer doing bad, Reg. Get Hammer. Make sure Roy and they'll get Hammer to me tomorrow. Fly him in. Hammer comes to the office. Fly him in. He asks Hammer what's going on. I wasn't in that meeting. They talked. He gives money to Hammer to go get his jury. He tells him that his jury is in the pawn shop in Long Beach, California. Hammer go get his jury out of the pawn shop. Hammer was around from that point on. Told all these stories. Everything that Suge said then, I done told, but Suge is 100% accurate on all of that. The only thing that John is saying he's not telling the truth about or misinformed is a better word I would like to say about was what was in the storage. Hammer, it ain't like he came, well, he did. He stole. He stole the reels because he was assigned over at Track Studio. And he was just over there working on his album. And so he had access to the, everything because it was his project. And that's how technically it's supposed to be done. Where and a label just give you money and you go and create your album and bring it back. Death Row is a little bit different because, especially the people that got the chance to work at Can-Am Studio, because they had unlimited. They didn't have like a budget or whatever. It was just go make some beats, go make some hits. A la, that's why you got all these songs that you got that most artists don't have. But what happened was Hammer got his music and was trying to put the album out, or was talking about putting the album out while Suge was in prison, as he stated. I found out about it. Hammer was in a bankruptcy, and or he filed bankruptcy. Don't remember when he filed the bankruptcy, but he eventually filed the bankruptcy or was already in the bankruptcy. And I made a claim for the album that he was trying to put out. But as Suge said, he knew Hammer didn't have any money or anything like that, and he was doing bad. Hammer was coming up to the prison, and I'm talking to Suge and meeting, and they worked it out. Once, I sued him and filed a claim in the bankruptcy court. Me, I was running the company, dealing with everything. We went through it, but they needed Suge to come at the hearing in January, probably December of 1990. No, December of 2001. Might have been November of 2001. As a debt, when you're a person that has a debt, and Suge went up to Frisco because that was his only way to get permission to go up there because he was on parole. But he didn't even show up to the hearing. And he was like, man, I ain't suing Hammer. I don't do that. I don't get down like that. And he was just like, hey, I'll just use this to travel to come up to Frisco and hang out with my boy Jay Valentine and Ron Newt and all of them. Shout out, rest in peace, Ron Newt. That was a good dude. And that's what we did. And, I'm sure, like you said, he'll eventually work it out the Hammer. It's obviously for him to speak on Hammer and Deion Sanders. Everything he says about Deion, I have heard. I wasn't around because that was a little bit before my time. I think that was like 93, 94. But he has said all of that. I done heard him say it to Eric B. I done heard him say it to everybody. And so Suge is speaking 100 on that situation. And all he's trying to do is get Hammer and Deion to reach out to his people, reach out to his girl Toy Lynn, or contact Suge. Matter of fact, y'all, for those of y'all want to contact Suge, it's easy to contact people who's in prison. I done put up, and you know what? I talk shit about Suge, but I also still want and have love for Suge. John's mad at Suge right now. He might not want to do it, but I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to put it out. Y'all write the nigga. Y'all contact him. Y'all email him. I don't care. This is the information where y'all can contact Suge. Write him. It's his birthday coming up. I'm sure he'll be glad to get a birthday card from y'all and some well wishes from y'all. Be his 58th birthday, April the 19th. Shoot him a card. But Hammer and Deion, I know y'all be on social media, especially Deion and his people. Reach out to that man. Make it right with him. You contact Dave Mays, you know how to get a hold of Suge if you really want to. Make that right with the man. Peace.